Hi, I'm Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy Segment Show. Also today in this segment, I'm at the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia.
The Science Museum of Virginia is located on 2500 West Broad Street in Richmond, Virginia, and is open if you check the web for the hours. The building the museum is housed in is what is Richmond's Union Station that was built by the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad, and this was the southern terminus. The construction of the building was completed in 1919. Also, it was not only served by the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad, but also the Atlantic Coast Line Railroad and the Seaboard Airline. This station was used for passenger service on trains where they would arrive by train or go somewhere by train till it discontinued as if it was being used as a working train station here in 1975. The station was vacant for a couple years till 1977. It was transformed into a museum to house the Science Museum of Virginia. Today it features Ethel IMAX and Planetarium, which is now known as the Dome. Also, there are even hands-on experiences where you could even give things a try, like operating a tsunami or anything like that, and even demonstrations of how lots of things work and such. In the Grand Hall, you'll find the Foucault pendulum, and it demonstrates the rotation of the Earth, which knocks down tall blocks to tell you how it does it, if it is a hit or a miss. Outside, you'll find the Illuminaut submarine, which was built in 1964 and is known as an experimental aluminum submarine, on display on the Garner Pavilion as well. Also on the pavilion, it even has railroad equipment to help represent that this was actually a train station many years ago as well.
Okay, I'm going to show you all the train exhibits they have down this hallway, and I'll get behind the camera and show you around, so here we go. Okay, so starting here, this is a bell that once belonged to a historic steam locomotive, once used by the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad, so feel free to pause and read that if you want. And here's an old switchboard that was used back in the day for the Seaboard Coastline Railroad, it looks like. And now it's on display here. That's how you would have done it back in the old days. And here's some pictures of the building that we're in and around. And these show you what it was like when it was an active train station till it became a museum today. Here's some old benches that were used. And here are more pictures right here. These benches would have been used in this very building. Here's an E-unit diesel engine, number 1001. That is a model, one of them that would have stopped here before. Now they're more behind this doorway or whatever it is. This is actually an HO diorama of the building that we're in. This is Broad Street right here. That's the way we entered this building. So there's a compass showing you which direction. And there's where the train display would be today. And here's a model of a steam engine that would have stopped here years ago. This engine has a 4-wheel arrangement. And feel free to pause and read that if you want. It's a model of the Carter-Braxton 622, the last steam engine purchased by the RF&P Railroad. And also, these types of steam engines are known as Potomac types. But usually, most of the 484s are known as Northerns, but The ones used by Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac are known as Potomacs. Let's look at the other one. Here's another model of an E unit that would have also stopped here, but this one is numbered 1002. And also, well, we've reached the end, and there's the main hallway that you enter. This is known as the Grand Hall. So it's the end of the tour. What you see right behind me is Baltimore, Ohio, 904090.
Baltimore, Ohio 904090 was built by the Fruit Growers Express in Alexandria, Virginia in the 1970s and is a bay window caboose. When this car was finished being built, it was in a chassis system paint scheme as it was used by the Baltimore and Ohio Railroads holding company, the chassis system. This car spent many years serving as the train crew's office. In 1986, it was then retired and was then acquired by the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia, where it is on display today.
What you see right behind me is Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac 20.
Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac 20 was built in 1925 and is a kitchen car. Originally, this car was built as just a regular daytime coach and was renumbered 92. In the 1930s, it was then renumbered 20, as it seems possible that it was. It was even used on passenger trains on the railroad it served for many years. In the 1940s, it was equipped with an air conditioner and was modernized. Then it was rebuilt for maintenance of way use and was used as a kitchen car later on. In 1991, it was then retired and was then acquired by the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia, where it is on display today.
What you see right behind me is the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac O&E.
The Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac O&E was built by American Car and Foundry in St. Charles, Missouri in 1919 and is a business car. Also, the car is named O&E as if the word one is just spelled out, it looks like. The car spent many years on the back end of passenger trains many years ago, where the executives would stay while traveling on the rails and even giving speeches like a president would as well many years ago. Not only that, but people would also stand on the back to watch the world go flying by as well. It also contained inside 2 pull-down beds, a lounge, 3 bedrooms, a dining room, a bathroom with a shower, and a gallery with a steward's quarters. In 1936, the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad officially took ownership of the car. It would also be where it took clients of the railroad, state legislators, and company officials to NFL games in Washington, D.C. as well. In 1991, it was then retired and was then acquired by the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia, where it is on display today.
What you see right behind me is Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac 183.
Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac 183 was built by American Car and Foundry in St. Charles, Missouri in 1937 and is a baggage car. This car spent many years carrying passengers' baggage on board as well, whenever it was used on passenger trains many years ago. It was then leased to the Railway Express Agency till it discontinued rail operations. In 1969 it was then retired from service. Then it was later acquired by the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia, where it is on display today.
What you see right behind me is Chesapeake, Ohio 2732.
Chesapeake, Ohio 2732 was built by Alco in Schenectady, New York in 1944 and is the 708 81st steam locomotive built by that factory and is a 284 Kanawha type steam locomotive and is a K4 class steam locomotive. This locomotive and the other 284s from the Chesapeake and Ohio were named Kanawhas, and however, most of the 284s are normally called Berkshires, but the ones from the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad are known as a Kanawha, as it is classified as a Kanawha for a West Virginia river that flows through the Chesapeake and Ohio's operating area. Also, it is one of the first 40 of its type numbered from 2700 to 2730. The locomotive was designed to pull heavy and fast freight through the Allegheny Mountain country of Virginia and West Virginia. The K4s were designed to haul the fast freight schedule demanded by World War II demands. They were based on the 284 design used on the Nickel Plate Road in Pere Marquette, which was common to the four railroads controlled by the Van Sweringen brothers. The K4s were extremely successful and operated over most of the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad system, hauling passenger trains as well as freight. Then it was retired, and in 1962 it was donated to the city of Richmond, Virginia by the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad and was then put on display at the Richmond Visitor Center till it was decided it needed a new home somewhere. It was then moved to the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia, where it is today. It would eventually get a good cosmetic restoration as well. Also, Chesapeake and Ohio 2732 is one of 12 surviving Chesapeake and Ohio 284s left in the world today, and 2732 can be found here on display at the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond, Virginia, where it is on display today.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed learning about trains with me today in Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also, I hope to see you all again in the next segment, and if you didn't subscribe to my channel yet, I'll have the subscribe button just down below the video screen. And if you didn't give the Facebook page a like yet, here's where you'll want to go. And if you didn't give the Instagram page a follow yet, here's where you'll want to go as well. Also, be sure to get your merch at teesprings.com. I'll have the link in the description box below, along with the Facebook and Instagram pages. And remember to subscribe to the Train Guy. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Sign out until next time. All aboard!